Hello, Squee here with TGN, and welcome back to episode 38 of Let's Play Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag for the PC. In the last episode, we took on a mission of justice when we took out a man posing to be someone else in order to rob people of their hard-earned money. I mean, who would do that? Certainly not me. Anyway, we're in Kingston, so let's go talk pirates, shall we? Okay, so we're back. Let's do some viewpoint hunting and pirate talking and stuff. Where's the closest viewpoint? I guess right here? Okay. So we finished talking about the Buccaneers last time, so now we've got to go on to the golden age of piracy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What was that? Anyway. So the Buccaneers, as I said, oh hey, Shanty! 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 Did I get it? No, I didn't. I just saw something show up. I thought maybe I had run into it. No! No! Poop! Alright, I'll go get Shanty later. So as I said before, the Buccaneers kind of died out once the idea of war beyond, you know, like no peace beyond the line or whatnot kind of faded away. And whee! Sorry. Hi. Sorry, I'll, where was I? Hang on, let me do this first and then we'll get back into it. Hiya! Nice. Okay, so. Anyway, where was I? So for a while, piracy died down. It was, I mean, it was still there, but it wasn't rampant. And, you know, the Buccaneers kind of lost their job. Now, then started the golden age of piracy. Now, some people consider the golden age of piracy to include the Buccaneer era. Others don't. I don't really include it. To me, the golden age of piracy was the age of independent pirates. Pirates not working for any country other than themselves. Kind of like what our good old Edward Kenway is. And the start of that was unofficially had to do, and I know I brought this up earlier. Hello. This is very pretty. This is awesome. Sorry, just admiring the view. The start of that was, or the unofficial start of it, there was a Spanish galleon. I don't remember the details. Spanish galleon. It was a treasure ship. It had tons and tons of gold loaded on it. Sunk in a hurricane. And I remember them talking about that, saying, "Oh, hey, you know, this thing, the ship sunk. We should dig it up, or dig it up. Yes, because that's what you do with a ship in an ocean. We should go diving and find the gold there." Well, what happened in real life was this Spanish galleon sunk in a hurricane, and people got wind of it, and they realized that there's all this gold just sitting there at the bottom of the ocean, waiting for people to take it. And it started a chain of piracy. All these pirates, or pirate runners, or newly minted pirates, tried to go get the gold before Spain could go get it, because Spain just didn't have the manpower to go protect all the gold and to get it and then protect it once they had it. And so it started a mass wave of people trying to get the gold, and that's considered the unofficial start, because, you know, once you've turned to piracy, you really can't go back. You have one option from that point. So that kind of sparked a new wave. I don't remember exactly when it was, but it's sometime in the 1690s. The golden age of piracy really is from about the 1690s to the 1730s-ish, give or take. Hi. Wow, I completely missed him. Um... So, and what is the golden age of piracy? How is it different than privateers and buccaneers? Well, and as I already kind of briefly said, well, how did he not cut his hands that way? Very simply put, it's the age of independent pirates. Pirates that were not working for any nation. They were every nation's enemy, no nation's friend, etc., etc. And this is really what we think of when we think pirates, because this is where you get your most famous, your Blackbeards and your, you know, Calico Jacks and all that. And I will be going over some of the most famous pirates. Oh, I should also point out, because it was pointed out to me and I completely forgot, in that footage I lost the hour or two of footage that I got corrupted and I couldn't use. You did have the introduction of Calico Jack and Charles Vane, who are two pirates that are very popular pirates. You didn't miss a whole lot. Basically, you just learned that Charles Vane's a dick and Calico Jack is like Tony Stark. He loves women. He's a womanizer, whatever. But so I will go into some of these famous pirates, but you know, in a bit. So the thing is, why were there so many pirates? That's what a lot of people, like, you know, no one's asking that. But I'm going to tell you anyway. Why this golden age of piracy? Why now? Why you know, they're so famous? Well, it's because the life of a pirate was actually fairly attractive to a lot of people. It was very short and it was very violent, but it nonetheless was very attractive to a lot of people for many, many reasons. One of those reasons being that it was truly democratic. It was a truly democratic society. What is he doing? Okay, whatever. The crews would all vote. Now, see, here's the thing, and someone asked me about this earlier. Well, what about the captain? Didn't he have authority? Yes and no. The captain was the captain, you know, and generally speaking, if he said something, you were supposed to do it, but he didn't have control over the overall what you do and where you go, most commonly. It was left up to a democracy or a vote. The only time a captain of a pirate ship, and I'm talking about the average, there were always exceptions to the rule, but the only time the captain had absolute unconditional authority was during conflict, during a battle, or the actual act of piracy. In that instance, in that situation, his word was absolute law because he was trusted to know what to do. And so everyone just kind of relied upon him. When it came to deciding who to pirate, or where to pirate, or how many to pirate before you say, hey, we're done, all of that was usually left up to a vote of the crew, and everyone had equal say. So, the pirate didn't have... What? Why would I be identifying my... Oh. Oh. Well, hang on. Let's get this first. The captain didn't have absolute authority in that sense. There were certain captains who did. They were able to use their fear and reputation to pretty much become a dictator. But that wasn't the average pirate vessel. And considering how little freedom the majority of people at this time had, that was an amazing amount of power to be able to have an equal voice in what your crew does and what they don't do. It was huge and very appealing to certain people. So so yeah, and then there were rules, general rules that a pirate had to follow. The pirate code, people always hear about that. And there was actually a bit of a pirate code. It wasn't like you have to wear, you know, slacks and a tie except on Fridays. Hi. It was much more loose than that, but there was a code. A big example was no fighting on the ship. You were not to have any sort of fights or brawls or anything of the kind on the pirate ship. You could take it off and go on shore, That's fine. No one minded if you did that. What's going on? Where'd he go? But you were not to fight on the ship, period. Because cohesion. You needed cohesion. You needed to be a well-oiled machine. Hi. If you were to be successful. See, a lot of people, when they think pirates, they think just a bunch of brigands on a ship, who were just lawless bandits. And that's not true at all. You wouldn't get very far if all of your people were not organized and trained and worked well as a unit. You wouldn't survive very long. So the best pirate ships were exactly that. They were very highly organized and highly trained when it came to doing the job of pirates. And because of this, they would not allow fighting on ships because it broke that cohesion, and it was incredibly dangerous for it to have a... Basically, it was incredibly dangerous to the whole crew because if you all didn't work together, you were goners. So, there were other things too, of course, but everyone usually when they came to a pirate ship or joined a pirate crew, they literally signed a contract that said such things. You wouldn't fight on a ship. It usually would state what the shares were, like, hey, when we pirate this ship, each man gets this many shares of the treasure. The captain obviously would get a larger share than everyone else, and the doctor would get a certain share, and all of that would be in the contract that everyone signed, which was really, really cool. Kind of, you know, for piracy. Hello, my loot. Sweet. Oh, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do at all. Take these guys out. I'm a coming. Another interesting thing about pirate ships, especially during the Golden Age, is that blacks were treated with a certain fairness, much more fairness and equality than they would have found anywhere else. Ah, sweet. Now you've seen in this game that Adwali was like, you know, I'm not going to become a captain. They'd never accept it. That wasn't quite true. Now, it wasn't quite false either. There were certain pirate ships that still were very racist against blacks, but on a whole, a black could get much fairer treatment than he could anywhere else on a pirate ship, and many times would be elected as officers and captains and of mostly white crews. There are historical records of black captains of white crews, because on a pirate ship, kind of like in the army, your color didn't matter as much. It was about, you know, who was skilled, who was good, who was going to get them the booty and keep them alive. And that's all they cared about. So it didn't matter if you were black, white, or Chinese, or whatever. So that was another appeal to a lot of people. And then you had also the, hang on. The agreed split of the bounty. Yeah, I already covered that in the contract. So I've got bullet points here because it's hard to think of all this stuff while also trying to climb viewpoints. So I pulled out my old college essays and stuff and made some bullet points off of them. And also used Wikipedia, which I should add. Wikipedia, while not great for college papers because you can never be 100% sure of the accuracy, it is great when you just want to know something. Because, excuse me, most of the stuff is fairly accurate. I wouldn't suggest using it in a debate, per se. You know? Or, like, in this instance, I wouldn't just go to Wikipedia and then read off information I found there because, you know, it might not be accurate. I haven't been fact-checked. But it was a good resource for me because I could sit there and go, no, wait, that doesn't sound right. Or, yeah, that's what I remember. So, in any case, what was I saying? Yeah, so they agreed to split the bounty. It wasn't always equal split. It was fair splits. if you understand what I mean. Obviously, the captain would get a larger share. As I said before, the surgeon would get a decent share, more than you would think, because he was incredibly valued among a pirate crew. You're talking about a crew who's constantly going into battle. Having a good doctor is vital. So they would commonly give him larger shares to try and entice better doctors. But it would all be agreed upon before they ever set sail. Before they ever leave dock, everyone knows what kind of share they should be getting from whatever treasure they find. You even had health insurance. Now, this is a really cool thing that most people don't realize or know about, is that pirates had a form of health insurance. It was very simple, but generally, here's how it would work. Is that moon moving? The moon is moving. That moon is moving really fast. Look at that go. It would be, you'd get a certain amount of gold or treasure depending on how you were injured. How to put it this way? Let's say, I don't remember what obviously I don't remember what the exact numbers were, but let's say if you lost your leg in the, during piracy of a vessel, and then you would get an extra share. Let's say you normally get 1 share of the treasure. 1 crewman gets 1 share. But let's say during such raid you lost your leg. Well, then you would get 10 shares of that treasure to make up for the fact that you lost your leg. Or if you lost your arm, you would get 15 shares. Or if you lost an eye, you'd get 5 shares. And it was actually rated upon what you lost and how important that was to you. In other words, how much it affected your life. Having an eye taken out wasn't really as bad as, say, losing an entire leg, and therefore you wouldn't get as many shares, or you'd get more shares for losing a leg. So you actually had a form of health insurance, which helped people. All right, let's go get this one. I don't know why this is all whatever restricted, but it's a plantation. Hi. Let's do this! Oh, probably help if I, you know, do stuff. Woo! Done. Hey, stop it. But yeah, I mean, that was revolutionary at the time. No one had health insurance. But it was a really cool way to help encourage people to come, to get new pirate crews. Because, like I said, this was a democracy, and smart captains and ship crews understood that, hey, people are going to get injured. Let's give them an incentive to you know, pirate even if they get injured. So, and when I say you had health insurance, I mean a decent amount. I mean that if you lost your leg, you were supposed to get enough treasure to take care of you. They were supposed to take care of you. We're not talking about, you know, you lost your leg so you get an extra month's pay or something. No, it was supposed to be a decent amount, because you gave your leg during the act of piracy. So, you know. Another thing that's interesting that most people don't realize is that a lot of pirate crews treated their captives very, very well, especially... Hey, you're in the shrubs! Out! No! I refuse! Especially if you surrendered. That was a big, big thing. The difference of how they would treat you is if you surrendered or not. In other words, when a pirate ship came up to your ship, if you immediately said, "Oh crap, pirates, I give up. We're not going to fight you. Come take our stuff," you would very likely be spared. You would be treated rather well, actually.
Aye, stop.
Not all the time, but commonly.
Intruder, I need some help here.
Yar! Let's sabotage this thing. No one ring that. No, you don't.
Intruder! I need some help here!
Can I hit him? No. Sorry. What was I saying? Hello?
Raise the alarm!
Whee! I totally traveled in midair. That was weird.